If you use client script to make short description mandatory on change request, you are doing it wrong. Hi everyone, welcome back to my ServiceNow Business Rule series. This is video 71 out of 100. Today, we will implement a short description mandatory on change request using the correct and secure method before business rule. This is exactly how it's expected in real projects and interviews. Let's start. Here the entire question is, how do you make short description mandatory on change request? Furtherly, requirement is user should not be able to save or submit a change request if short description is empty. How we can solve this issue? We have totally four possible methods to resolve this issue. These are the UA policy, client script, dictionary mandatory, and finally before business rule. So coming to first method is UA policy. It can make field mandatory and form, but drawbacks are it can be bypassed. It can be bypassed APIs, imports, and backgrounds. It won't secure. We can first check the as a production point of view secure method. So it won't be suitable. Next, client script. The drawback of client script is it will run only on user interface, UI. It can be bypassed. It's not recommended for validations and it's not be production safe. So these two methods are not compatible. And another method is dictionary mandatory. It will make the field mandatory anywhere, but it will too strict. It will affect the integrations and imports, and it's not flexible method. This also rejected. Final recommended best method is before business rule. Why it is the best method? Because it will run on server side. It stops the prevention of database save. And finally, it will secure and reliable. It should be compatible to the production and it's industry standard. Because it is a server-side validation, it cannot be bypassed. Controls record life cycle. As part of the data integrity, it's the best recommended, used in all real-time change implementations. So final option is before business rule. We can break the requirement into simple steps. How? Because we will write the code from the requirement. First, as per our requirement is, we can review more time. How do you make short description mandatory on change request? Short description mandatory. We can break the requirement into simple steps. First, to read the short description field value. Then checks if short description field is empty or null. Then it will show display an error message to user. Stop the record from saving. So we need to take the backend value of short description first. Check if short description is empty or null. If current.short description is empty or null, we are giving input to system. Then finally, display an error message to user. While saving, before saving, it will prevent by get user error message. How we can get gs.add error message. Then finally, how can stop the record? Set about action. By these methods, we can apply on the before business rule. So we can navigate to the business rules. How we can navigate? sys_script.list. sys_script.list. Then click on new. Name is short description mandatory. The table is change request. Change_request, the table name is. While clicking on address, it will highlight the advanced option and when to run options. Here, when to run is Before business rule, we are using. Previously, we used 100, then 200 we are using. It will prevent the collision of other business rule. Then while insert and update, I'm using. Then click on advanced to show this one. It will show the default lines function execute current previous and current previous. Function means it will act as a business rule function. Current means its current means record being saved. Previous old record values, it's not used here. Then here we can add the comments. The best practice is use comments in the business rules. That's the best practice. Here, what's our first step? First, to read the short description field value, copy, and just paste it in here. How can read? By adding where first we are declaring variable, where short description. We are declaring first value equal to current. Current means current table, current dot. Get value. We'll get the value of the short description. Get value of short description. We can copy the short description value from the change request. Copy the table field value, short underscore description, and just paste it in here. Short underscore description. Then line end with the semicolon. Then enter code. Then what's the next step? Checks if short description is empty or null. If condition we are using. If checks if short description is empty. So that's why we are using not. If short description is not. Short description tab. Then open curly brackets, then enter. If short description is empty, then what's it showing? As per our requirement, display an error message to user. How we can display error message? By adding gs.add error message option. This is API. gs glide system.add error message. What error message we need to give? We need to give short description is mandatory. Short description is mandatory for change request. Then what's the next step? Here, the next step is stops the record from saving. How we can stop? By adding set about action true option, we can stop the method. So we are adding current. Current means it will applicable for the current table. Current dot set about action true. Should use true. Then only it will apply. Then enter. Then format the code. It will adjust the code lines, empty spaces, then submit. We can check now. Without short description, we are trying to save or submit. I'm submitting. Yes. Short description is mandatory for change request. Invalid insert. How this message came? Because we are giving an add error message. Display an error message to user. Then stop the record from saving. It will come by gs.add error message and invalid insert by set about action true. These two options it will apply it here. That's it, guys. We can, by this way, we can practice very easy. And the next step is best practices. These are also important to while doing scripting. Always write business rule for instant change problem in global scope only. Global scope only means here Here is a no global. Here for custom application, it will be scoped applications. For incident, change, and problem, we should always use global applications. Then only it will be applicable. We have different types of applications, scoped and global. So all these incident change problem should be used in the global scope only. And use before business rule for mandatory validations. These are the validations. We should use the before business rule only. Avoid user interface only, validation for critical data. We should not use the UI to validations because it's production safe now. We should always compatible good practices for production purpose. Don't make dictionary mandatory unless absolutely required. So we should not use dictionary mandatory. And for custom apps, only use scope applications. Then remaining, I mean incident, problem, and change request, we should use global scope only. That's it, guys. Thank you and wish you all the best.